Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 74 of the Sim Racing Show, and this week is massive. It's particularly big for Gran Turismo 7 fans, but Forza Horizon 6 is also now officially confirmed. That's going straight into Japan. There's bad news for ASETEK Evo fans, unfortunately. MOZA is gearing up for its first Sim Racing Expo. Project Motor Racing is promising Sim Racing Heaven, if they can build it off. And controversially, iRacing has pulled Laguna Seca from the free content list. This is crazy. And Racestream, I've been speaking about it a lot, but they just dropped hypercars and a big overhaul, and that could be the big update that gets Racestream kind of in there in sim racing. Now, I think this week, the biggest question I'm going to lead with is Gran Turismo 7 saved with Spec 3? So what is Spec 3? Spec 3's just been announced, and it's the kind of update that fans have been waiting for pretty much as soon as Gran Turismo 7 launched, to be honest. So we've got 2 new real-world tracks, 8 new cars, data logging and telemetry, unlimited invitations to buy the cars, because it's weird, and a whole bunch of quality of life fixes, all completely 100% free. So the tracks are Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, home of the Wall of Champions, one of my favourite circuits, and Yas Marina, the Abu Dhabi GP track. Now, I remember this coming to Forza Motorsport in a free update, and I was sure Gran Turismo would follow very quickly, but it's finally coming now. We're also getting 8 new cars, and one of them is going to be the Ferrari 296 that Max Verstappen has just been driving at the Nordschleife with a Gran Turismo window sticker, which is quite cool. But the biggest feature, arguably, is the telemetry, because Gran Turismo 7 is now going to get a built-in data logger. Now, real-world drivers use telemetry, because otherwise you're just kind of guessing what you're doing. But with this, you'll be able to analyze your laps properly, compare with friends also. So it could completely change how you drive the game, how I do kind of coaching or guides for the game as well. Is very exciting. And it feels like Polyphony has listened to a lot of the criticism that we've certainly been doing, both me in the videos and all of you guys in the comments. They've been listening to it and they've gone big for it. So Gran Turismo 7 could be saved by Spec 3. This could be the little boost that gets it over the line to Gran Turismo 8. I think it's definitely a boost for Gran Turismo 7. But while that's good news for GT7 on its own, unfortunately, its biggest rival is about to set up shop literally next door, because Forza Horizon 6 is now officially confirmed as coming straight to Japan. I can now talk to you about it. You might have seen me in the official review trailer for Forza Horizon 6, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, just think about it for a second. Forza Horizon, this very Americanized franchise, even though it's developed in the UK, is going to Japan, the birthplace of Gran Turismo. It's all about the culture, the cars, those mountain passes, the drifting, the expressways. It's kind of, a lot of that is in the DNA of actual Gran Turismo, but Forza Horizon is dropping straight into that world in 2026. Not too much more I can say to you right now, other than obviously Mount Fuji is there and Playground Games are really talking a lot about Japanese car culture, so it looks like it's going to be a monster. But as soon as I can let you know about more, I'll tell you in the Sim Racing Show, so make sure you subscribe and share this video on the forums. By the way, Forza Horizon 6 is coming first on PC and Xbox Series X and X, with PS5 players getting it later. So it is also going to come to PlayStation, the home of Gran Turismo. Now, there's only 3 weeks left until one of the biggest sim racing events of the year. I would say the biggest event, which is a Sim Racing Expo. This year we've got a big debut because MOZA is making it a Sim Racing Expo debut this year. They're not coming empty-handed, so they're going to be in Dortmund in October alongside GT Omega, 2 sponsors of the channel, which is amazing, and it feels like perfect timing. MOZA, remember, have announced a partnership with MotoGP. They've announced a partnership with Mercedes-AMG. They brought out the FSR2 Formula wheel, which is interesting to see a wheel with like very few improvements, to be honest, but it's about that kind of like iteration of products now. They're coming out with new 21 and 25 Newton meter ultra bases. They've got partnerships with Porsche and Lamborghini as well. So there's a lot of stuff happening, and when that all hits the market, because not a lot of that's hit the market yet, it's going to be pretty crazy. Can't tell you exactly yet what else they're going to bring to the expo, but as soon as I can, I will let you know. Now, next we're going to speak about some bad news, unfortunately, for ASETEK Evo fans. I myself am an ASETEK Evo fan, but I did kind of predict this, if I'm honest. But before that, I want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, which is GT Omega. So I've been using GT Omega rigs for years and years and years. and you just know they're solid. I've got the MOZA R16 on there at the moment. I'm going to be putting a SimuCube 2 Pro on there very soon as well. So if you're looking for a sim racing rig, make sure you go to gtmega.com. If anything takes your fancy, this one is the Prime Lite, by the way, the cheapest extrusion rig. Then use my code KIRETH5 for an extra 5% off. Big thanks to GTMega for sponsoring the sim racing show. Now that news, if you were hoping for ASETEK's EVO release soon or this year, according to publisher 505 Games parent company Digital Bros, we probably won't see version 1.0 now until summer 2026 at the earliest. So the financial report says EVO will remain available in early access on Steam and will continue to be enhanced with new features and content right through the fiscal year ending June 2026. In other words, don't expect a final polished release before then. Now, it lines up with what we've seen so far because EVO, remember, it dropped in January this year. 2 big updates. The July patch slipped to September. Kunos don't really want to commit to dates anymore. And I said at launch, don't buy this game based on the roadmap. Like, you might want to buy this game. I bought the game because I wanted to have a lot of fun time trialing. But please do not buy the game based on the roadmap. Do not buy the game on free roam coming in summer 2025. I thought that was all was very unlikely to happen. And I got shouted a lot by people who said, how can you say that? This is what the roadmap says. How can you tell people not to buy the game based on the roadmap? But I stand by it. I make my decision, stand by it. Sometimes I'm right. Often I'm right in sim racing, if I'm honest. And this time I think I've been proved right again. So if you want to have fun in ASETEK EVO, 100% you can do it. But it's going to be a longer early access period than I think a lot of other people had anticipated. Now, important to note that EVO is already a financial powerhouse, by the way, because 32 million euros of Digital Bros premium game revenue came from ASETEK alone this year. So the game is delivering, and EVO is part of that, just not at the pace of development some of us had hoped. In fact, I want to hear from you in the comments. Are you okay with EVO staying in early access for another year, or do you think Kunos should push for 1.0 sooner, even if it's not perfect? Remember, BeamMG has been in early access for about 500 years. Now, speaking of delivering of what the community wants, Straight 4 Studios have just revealed that Project Motor Racing's multiplayer won't need any extra subscription fees. We're going to hold them to account on that. But once you've got the game, they say, you've got full online access. So compare that to iRacing's monthly subs, all-in-one ultimate, charging for extra for advanced features like even having your race instance looked into in an accelerated way. Project Motor Racing is going for a bold move here. Could be expensive for them, but it could make them the go-to sim for people who don't want to be nickeled and dimed, and that's a lot of sim races. And contrasting that, it's terrible news is for iRacing, the timing of it, because Project Motor Racing just literally saying that they're going to win people over value. iRacing is confirming that Laguna Seca is no longer going to be free content. So new subscribers after September 25th, which has just happened, you're going to have to pay for Laguna Seca. Now, if you already have it like me, you're safe. But this is just a reminder that this is how the iRacing subscription model works. I've recommended iRacing for years, and Laguna Seca being free has been a material part of that. I'm going to be honest. When I say to people, oh, get an iRacing subscription, there's a lot of included content. You get the MX-5, you get now that BMW, Formula V, but doing MX-5s at Laguna Seca is a rite of passage, and I could do that multiple times a week and be very, very, very happy. I've been to Laguna Seca in real life. The iRacing scan is, pretty good, but now that's dropping off free, it's not as star-studded, the free content. Yes, you've got Alton Park. Yes, you've got, I think, did they add Snetterton? But Okayama they've got as well. But it's not as star-studded as Laguna Seca. So let's see what happens. They're probably going to do a rescan of it. I would love them to add it back at free content in the future. I'm going to keep an eye on it for you. Now, Race Room. They have gone big. So the Lamborghini SC63, Porsche 963, and the BMW M Hybrid V8 hypercars are now drivable along with a classic Renault Laguna Super Tourer. Along with that, the game has had a proper graphics overhaul and a completely reworked ranked multiplayer system. Let me know if you want me to do a specific video on Race Room. We talk about it a lot in the Sim Racing show, but we don't often cover it specifically. But I'm only going to do it if you're interested, so let me know. And we're gearing up to the Sim Racing show and the Sim Racing Awards. So this time next week, I'm going to be asking you to vote on the Sim Racing Awards. So you've got that to look forward to. I'll see you then.